Hello friends, welcome. Today we are going to cover API Gateway. In the earlier video we covered about APIs, API basics. If you haven't checked that video, please I request you to check that before watching this video. API Gateway is a very popular term nowadays especially with the advent of microservices. Let's consider an example of e-commerce website like Amazon. So in Amazon, we can access the Amazon website. We can, add products, go through the products, add products to the cart, make an order, and so on. With the advent of microservices, a single monolithic application is broken down into several services which are independent. So in the web application, imagine if we have, after decoupling them into microservices, if we had to remember the IPs or the locations of each of those microservices, like a product service. If you want to check out what are the different products, go hit one link. Then to add those products to our cart, hit another link, and so on and so forth, for billing and making an order and so on. As a client, this would be a very much painstaking task. Now, magic comes where we have API Gateway. API Gateway helps us to segregate or encapsulate the internals implementation of the application and expose them as one unit to our client. API Gateway can be considered as a component that sits between client and our backend services. So it's pretty much like a guard, a single entry point to our application. We can call it as it is acting as a reverse proxy in the sense it intercepts the client request, sends it to the appropriate services, gets the response from all those services and send back a final response, consolidated response to the client. In fact, most of the enterprises today, not just the e-commerce web applications, deploy their APIs via API Gateway. A very popular example is Netflix API Gateway, where we know that Netflix we will be able to able to access on the television, on mobiles, and so on. So the real power of API Gateway lies in the fact that it provides a single request access for the client to the entire microservices architecture where we have different services. However, we just as a client need to make one request and we can get the consolidated response. But API Gateway's usage is just not restricted to that. you know it helps us protect the APIs from overusage. For instance, see, we saw yesterday that APIs are nothing but a way we can provide services to clients, correct? So imagine our APIs are being consumed or being overused. In that case, we would want it to be protected, from overuse. And no unauthenticated party should not be able to access. So provide rate limiting and authentication is another advantage of API Gateway. Not just that, we also would like to monitor how our APIs are being used. How often are they being used? So the monitoring and analytics also become a very key important part of API gateway. And after getting to know who is going to use, how they are going to use, what is the rate limiting and everything, we would like to charge our customers, our clients based on their usage by collecting the number of requests that they have made and sending it to a big billing system. So overall, if we see, API gateway helps develop a solution which is simpler and dependable, uh, and provide a dependable experience to our clients. So this, on the screen you can see, this is the point that we have to remember. API gateway acts as a guard. It intercepts all the incoming requests to our application, breaks it down into required number of requests, routes them to the right services, gets the response from each of those services, consolidates the response, and sends it back to the client. And above all, it keeps a track of all the requests, everything that's going on inside the application. So, to summarize, the functions of an API gateway are separating the cross-cutting concerns. By cross-cutting concerns, we mean, see, in the microservices architecture, as we said, that we are breaking down the entire application into small, indivisible, sorry, rather I should say small independent services, correct? So, if to access each of those services, we need the client to first authenticate themselves and see additionally if they are authorized to make the request. On top of it, we must also ensure that they are using the proper security certificates. Now, if each of this we have to implement on, say, if we have 15 services, so we have to actually have all these three components, the non business components across all these services. That's when API Gateway comes handy. We can, in fact, since it is the front guard to our application, we can have all those cross cutting concerns: authentication, authorization, and say SSL monitoring, all those into the API gateway. So this is one of the biggest advantage of having API gateways. Apart from the fact that it provides a very a dependable service and very like I covered here, a very simple and a dependable experience for our client. The next important feature is routing. So now having multiple microservices, we must know which service to route to in order to get a particular response. So API gateway comes handy where it routes the request to the appropriate service or services, gets the response and sends it back to the client. Adapter. Adapter is nothing but a see it. Adapter also helps making a single network call from the client, decomposing it into multiple calls if required. Suppose, say for example, we want information, say in order to place in a e-commerce website, in order to make a request of placing an order in the e-commerce website, we must first get the information about the user from the user service. We must get information about the products that they have added. Check the inventory service to see if the products are available. See if any discounts are applicable from the discount service, and so on. It's like a bunch of separate. You have to consolidate the response from each of, or rather multiple services, and then process the order. So adapter, what it does is, we will just, as a client, issue a request, say place an order. It's the API gateway having a component of adapter which will make calls to all of these individual services, get the response, consolidate it, and send it back. So that way, single network call we have from a client. So that's like a much better experience for the customer. Another important advantage, or rather function, of an API gateway, as you can see on screen, is caching. Now say we have a service which says, for example, like there are see these are the trending products in the market. Okay, so, and those products keeps changing, or we keep updating it every 1 hour. Within that 1 hour, we know that if even if we make 100 calls, we are going to get the same set of details. The point is, why should we make those 100 calls? We can in fact have those cached in the API gateway, so that those 100 calls can be just one call. And the one call can be made every 1 hour, and it can be updated, the cache can be updated at the API gateway once the cache expires. So it can help reduce the latency and improve the overall performance of our system. Another important function rather, is static content rendering. So static content rendering is something like, imagine we have login pages, right? Every application does have login pages, some static files like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files, and so on. Instead of having that as a separate service, rather we can have all those static content, which is not going to change anyway, at the API gateway, so that network call can be reduced, and it overall improves the performance of the system, or rather avoids latency issues that can arise if we keep this as a separate service. Another important point is load balancer. Now, see, as an application, we do know that we are going to have not just one version of a service. We would rather have multiple versions of the service, of the same service, and in fact, we can have multiple instances as well, multiple copies of the same service. If we want to introduce another, say, service instance for that matter, so we can have a load balancing component at the API gateway, which will, say, for example, route to the existing instances the 95% of our traffic, and the rest 5% to this new instance that we have introduced, which is, this is very much called as canary releases. So that way, the API gateway is very much helpful in balancing the load, also between multiple existing instances as well. Another important point is, API gateway has an important component called a protocol adapter. So we uh, in today's era, we have not just desktop clients, we have different clients, web browser, we have requests from web browsers, tablets, mobile phones, and so on. Each of them can actually be using a different set of protocols. They can be using HTTP2 protocol, they can be using WebSocket, and so on. Imagine the backend services are only supporting HTTP, one protocol for instance. In that case, we can have API gateway, a protocol adapter which will accept all the protocols from the client, say HTTP2 and WebSocket and so on, and convert it into the backend supported protocol, backend service supported protocol. And like I mentioned earlier, billing, charge your customers depending on that their usage, the quota that they have mentioned, apply the throttling policies, and so on. And in fact, these are just some of the functions of the API gateway. API gateway is much, much powerful. Now, we have only talked about so far the pros of having API gateway, seeing how powerful it is. But do we really see any drawbacks? Well, yes, there are. Now, since we have a single entry point to our application, that introduces single point of failure, right? So if imagine if API gateway goes down, none of the services, backend services will be accessible. So we can actually overcome this by having multiple instances of API gateway. But yes, it also increases the complexity of our system because now we have a new component added. So we have to handle all the communication between the API gateway and all the microservices, have a service discovery of all those microservices, and so on. So the complexity, overall complexity of the application increases. And because we have introduced another component of that is API gateway, there is another additional network hop. So there is the time, the response time has been increased. So we have potentially introduced a latency, but yes, it has its own of course advantage and disadvantage that we have discussed so far. So guys, just remember that with microservices in place, and now currently even nano services are also booming in the market, API gateway plays a very crucial role, and most of the enterprises today are using API gateways. In the future videos, I will cover microservices and authentication model, API security, and so on in depth as well. Uh, do like the video if you've enjoyed it. Share it with your friends, and do leave me your comments on the videos that you want me to make. And thank you for watching. Happy learning.